So, hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, hi. If it's not your first time here, welcome back. Today we're going to be looking a little bit more in depth on the bench press. The one exercise that everybody wants to get good at, but I feel like people don't teach it enough or teach it correctly. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about specifically is equipment. I know there isn't too much equipment based in the bench press, and because it's kind of like a full body of just lifting, there isn't really much equipment to it, which is not a bad thing, but it is the thing that we think about nonetheless. So, first thing I want to talk about are wrist wraps. A lot of people use wrist wraps when benching, and it is not a bad thing to do at all. Wrist wraps are probably some of the most essential equipment that you'll ever use when making a good bench press successful. The pressure on your wrist changes, obviously, and just to overhaul that pressure, we want to have wraps. So, wrist wraps, these could be any caliber. I just got these new Rogue ones about a few months ago. These are probably the ones that I most prefer. Solid wrap. As far as wrapping your wrist, I always say that put the most pressure where the most pressure is going to be. So that nice cup we have here, sinking down into the wrist, right? We don't need it secure down here, we need it secure up here and in this tight area of where most pressure is going to be while we are benching. So along with that, let's also talk about feet positioning and torso positioning. So this is probably one of the most argued topics on the internet as far as how your back and feet should be in a bench press, right? People don't like big arches in their back when people bench press because they feel like it's cheating when they're like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no one likes it. I always say just do what's naturally comfortable. If it feels comfortable, then just do it. Because everybody's bench press looks different. And we shouldn't judge people's bench presses unless it's like really crazy. Then we can kind of be like
2 inches.
yeah, if it's those 2-inch bench presses, I'm not there for it. But if it's like a little arch, the natural curvature of your spine is coming out, that's different. You can do that. You're bench pressing naturally.
I'm gonna do a lot of this stuff with Allie today because she needs to she's gonna be doing volleyball Are you wanna wear these?
Oh yes, the back. Because the back is very in the bench press as well. I'm done here. A strong back also equals a very strong bench press. Obviously, whenever we are getting in that position of actually being able to push, right, that's a back motion. Of course, our chest come into it, but the most driving factor, especially in the eccentric area, I'm out of breath, is that forward push from back here. So a lot of back exercises from pendulum rows to single arm dumbbell rows, those are the main two my brain are going to, help build that push, right? So essentially what we think about, right, is if we're here, down, rotate it. That's our bench press.
Yeah, so what do you do? The purple one comes first. So at 4 to 5 is the purple. So if you plan it like that where you do your specific stuff.
Next thing that we always want to make sure that we focus on, right, is the eccentric motion of the actual lift. A lot of people don't get stuck coming down, right? They get stuck coming back up. The best thing that we can do for that is train the eccentric movement of whatever we get stuck on. I live by that principle. That is the best thing that you could do to further any lifts that you may want to get bigger. And by training the eccentric, I essentially mean we want to train the eccentric portion of whatever we get stuck on. So for the bench press, that would be starting from the point that most people get stuck on, right? Setting up the same way you would actually bench press and pushing them here and working on the lowering phase and this push out, right?
Oh, okay. Where are you using them?
Like that. So another thing we want to look at, not to mention, is grip. So I always say from thumb in is our grip, unless you find something that's a little bit better, as long as it's even on the bar. If it's even, nothing to worry about.
For the rest of the high school,
So I'm
when
trying
I
to think
do.
of what we can do for her to talk to Alon about. Yeah.
Even when I had both of the girls, Mark and I were having them do like a week of the classes because they both just.
Yeah.
So what is
So Sammy, we're gonna like everything. She doesn't. I don't know. Just, I know she's just having my kids. She can. Yeah. Not really. She doesn't have to do this. Like the other day we were doing. She was doing. What are those things called? Like a back extension. Yeah. Yeah. And and she goes. Okay, I only got 5 more. This is gonna help you get your back handspring one day. Is it worth it though?
So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or if you think there's something I didn't cover, please comments so I can cover it. And my goal is to do this for every single powerlifting lift, right? It's all different, so we're gonna work on that. Make it like a little learning series. So I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.